So I'm going to show I do have my seatbelt on. Speed limit is 70. My cruise control is set at exactly 70. They pulled me over. It says because they're wondering if I'm okay.
Hey, Mr. Gregg.
Yes, sir.
Can you put that down for me, please?
What's the phone?
Yes, put it down.
I'd rather not.
Excuse me?
I know it's my right to be able to record.
No, not to record me.
Yes, sir. I'm a citizen. I have the right to film public officials.
Okay.
It's First Amendment protected free speech.
Okay.
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
You're free to go. You want to go ahead.
Can I get my ID back?
I'll let you know what I was going to say as soon as you put it down. So you tell me.
I can't go anywhere without my ID.
As a matter of fact, I just remembered about something else. I'm going to check one more thing. So whenever you want to leave, just let me know. All right, Mr. Gray, everything's in order.
Okay.
You flash your lights that many times, we're going to think you're calling for help.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Drive safely. Make sure you use your turn signal.
Welcome back, everybody. As many of you guys know, I'm a law enforcement trainer and instructor. I train and instruct military and law enforcement alike all across the nation on various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, investigations, use of force, etc. And so I've seen this video around quite a bit. It's been sent to me by a couple friends. I think it's really funny. Let me start off with saying I don't have the full video. I don't know what the full context of the video is about, but that's okay. We'll learn some case law. We'll learn about the Constitution a little bit regardless, but I don't know. Even the cop, he just looks funny to me. I'm sorry. His mannerisms, right? So let's talk about the first part of this stop. The first part of the stop that we really have to address and we have to make sure that we understand is what was the lawful reason for the stop. And that's going to culminate into everything else that we do as far as not just traffic enforcement, but law enforcement in general, right? What was the lawful reason for the stop? And based upon this lawful stop, what did we find and or do? Okay, and that's going to be really the premise for most things that we're going to talk about in regards to especially traffic stop or casual contact encounters, right? Was it a casual encounter that was supposed to be just completely consensual, or were there underlying criminality that was trying to be addressed by the contacting officer? So, first case law here, as you can see, we're going to be talking about reasonable articulable suspicion traffic stops, because as you know, all an officer needs to conduct a traffic stop is reasonable articulable suspicion, and that's shown out many places on the state circuit and even the Supreme Court level with the United States v. Cortez, 1981. So that's just kind of what we need to have in order to proceed forward. So those are those case laws there. The next thing we really need to talk about is just, and again, I think it's important, our First Amendment, right? Our freedom of speech, freedom to record. And so I always like to show the flag burning case law, Texas v. Johnson, 1989. And simply put, the reason being is because what the Supreme Court affirmed, right? So the Supreme Court has held that flag burning constitutes symbolic speech that is protected by the First Amendment, okay? So that is super important to realize and recognize. The next thing we have to understand is the Supreme Court further held that freedom of speech protects actions that society may find very offensive, but society's outrage alone does not justification for the freedom of speech. So as you can see with this law enforcement officer here, he was not happy that he was being recorded. He made it very clear that he didn't want to be recorded. He even tried saying, "You don't have the right to record me." So everything he was doing was deflecting in order to get this individual to stop recording him. And it seems, right, again, we don't have the full clip. I don't have full context, but I think it's very easy for the everyday person to see the reason why he wanted that person to put the camera down appears to be because he wants to tell him something that he does not want to be public record, right? He wants to tell him something that he does not want the world to see. Why that may be, I don't know. There could be several reasons for that. I'm not here to armchair quarterback. I'm just saying that's what it appears. It appears that he wants to tell him something that are for his ears only, or something that he doesn't want to be able to be traced back to him necessarily. Again, they're who knows? When we're talking about that within a context of that framework, man, I would only be guessing. But it's clear he didn't want it recorded, whatever it was. Okay, the next thing that I think it's important that we address is the holding the identification card. Let's look at some case law on that. Let's kind of try to understand what the why, because quite frankly, I don't think I could tell you the why with any degree of certainty here. So let's look at our first one. We have United States v. Johnson at Fifth Circuit Court, 1988. Although postal inspectors advised the suspect he was not under arrest, their inquiries took the form of demands, and their hostile reactions to the subject's explanations altered the nature of the contact into an arrest. So here we have case law from the Fifth Circuit where postal inspectors were talking to an alleged suspect. They said he was not under arrest, but their questions of him took the form of demand, right? I'm demanding you. And their hostile reactions to the suspect's explanations for whatever questions they were asking altered the nature of the contact to an arrest. So again, if we take this framework from the Fifth Circuit and we apply it here, what do we have? We have a police officer that is advising a citizen, right? Stating the reason, number one, the reason for the traffic stop based upon what he's saying in this clip. Just want to make sure you're okay, right? Just want to talk to you. Just want to make sure you're okay. Again, I don't know what reasonable or articulable suspicion of a crime he had, but again, he is stating from his own words, hey, the reason I'm stopping you is because I want to make sure you're okay. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to use community caretaking. I'm not sure. I'm not going to assume. We won't go in the case law on that because we just don't know. So that's number one. Number two, he's telling him to put the phone down, saying he does not have the right. So he's, in fact, whether he's lying or he just doesn't know his case law, he is telling a lawful citizen something that is not factually correct and not supported by the Constitution, nor is it supported by case law precedents. And he's giving him, put the phone down, right? It's taking the form of a demand. If you're asking me, if a police officer tells you to do something, they're demanding. Right? I'm telling you, you're not free to go. That is a demand. Put your phone down. I can see that as a demand. Put your hands up. Put something down. Those are demands. Those aren't just, hey, this is be really cool. Wouldn't it be really cool if you put your hands up? Wouldn't it be really cool if you turn around and faced away from me? Wouldn't it be really cool if you separated your feet? That would be a question, right? You know? Wouldn't it be really cool if you did X, Y, and Z? But that's not what the officer's doing. The officer is telling him to put the phone down. And then we further see he's saying, if you want your ID back, just let me know, and I'll be in my car. The driver here is clearly saying that he wants his identification back. He's clearly annotating that to the officer. And the officer's pretty much saying, well, when you want to act the way I want to, this is what I got from the clip. When you want to act the way I want you to act, when you are willing to listen to what I am telling you, then we can go ahead and conclude this traffic stop. That's how I felt. That's what I saw from this whole encounter. I believe that's very easy to articulate as well. And that's the biggest thing. My feelings don't matter. Your feelings don't matter. What you can articulate matters. And I think it's very easy to articulate. This driver was only not free to go, but the conclusion of the traffic stop would occur whenever he has finally taken the officer's warnings or taken the officer's demands and did what the officer wanted him to do, whether it was lawful or not. The next thing we have to look at, what could also be an arrest. So Border Patrol out of the Fifth Circuit again, 1988 they did really good this year, right? The Fifth Circuit gave us another great case law, right? United States versus Cagle. Border Patrol agents seized a passenger's suitcase and prevented it from being loaded onto a passenger airline flight. This constituted a full-scale arrest and not just a detention because the passenger's itinerary was clearly frustrated. The officers failed to use the most diligent, least intrusive investigatory techniques. So in this, we have somebody, and let's just kind of flesh this out a little bit. Here we have somebody's luggage being seized. Not the person being seized, the luggage is being seized. And so what the Fifth Circuit concluded was this was a full-scale arrest because the passenger's itinerary was frustrated, right? Well, I can't go to my next place if I don't have my extra set of clothes, my toothbrush, my toothpaste, and my body wash, man. Like, how do you expect me to go? I don't have socks. I only have one pair of socks. You are clearly frustrating my itinerary, my dude. So here the Fifth Circuit said, well, even though you didn't seize the person, it's very obvious that by you taking their luggage, you are frustrating their itinerary. It's going to be very hard to proceed with their itinerary for the day because you have taken their suitcase, their toothbrush, an extra pair of socks there. So now let's compare that to a driver's license. I would argue that a driver's license is an even bigger threshold, an even bigger frustration of itinerary than your suitcase, right? In all reality, and I'll speak from my personal experience. I've been in the military, haven't traveled a ton. I have traveled a lot, very blessed. I can tell you there are many times I've had to proceed without my luggage, right? Because my luggage got stuck somewhere. It was sent to the wrong place. Does it clearly frustrate my travels? Absolutely. But you know what would frustrate my travels even more? If my driver's license or my identification cards, especially while traveling, were to be separated from my person. I really couldn't go anywhere. You need an ID to do everything, to prove who you are. You need an ID to be able to buy things. Depending on what they are, you need to be able to have an ID to buy things. You have to have an ID to travel. You have an ID to check into a hotel. You have to have an ID to drive. You have to have the ID to do so many things. So by seizing my identification, I would say would be even way bigger frustration of itinerary than your suitcase, right? And that's clearly what this officer is doing. This officer has his driver's license, tells the gentleman he's free to go, but says, but I want to tell you something, and I want off the record, I want you to put the camera down. So when you are ready to put the camera down, we can talk, and I can give this back to you. If that can't be articulated by somebody that gets paid to do this for a living in the courtroom, if you can't articulate an arrest, a de facto arrest at that, according to the Fifth Circuit, by not releasing somebody's driver's license, even though you told them they are free to go, until they heed to your demands. I mean, you have both case laws here. So again, I don't know. Again, let me just say, I don't know the full context of this, but for my law enforcement friends out there, just realize that, when we do our job and when we are clearly interacting with the public, we have to realize that there is case law precedents that would 110% not help you in a situation where you are frustrating somebody's itinerary. So here, it's clear to me that an argument, I can make an argument, so I'm pretty sure those that have Juris Doctorate degrees that get paid, $500+ an hour to do this can easily come up with and articulate and come up with a synopsis of findings that would be congruent with the underlying case law and the fact that the person was not free to go, and that by holding their driver's license hostage was in fact a de facto arrest. Again, I don't think it takes a whole lot of brain cells to come up with something like that. So with that being said, that's the case law. That's the incident. I've gotten this video numerous times, so I thought I would go ahead and make a video of it, just give you my opinion based upon the governing case law that we have before us. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you liked it, please like, share, subscribe. As always, guys, long live the Republic.